I've been making shakers this week, and I thought I'd show you what they look like and how I made them, maybe make a few, and some tips that I've gotten or learned along the way, or picked up from other people, actually. So this is the first one I made, and I just put scrapbooking paper behind there. This is a window envelope. It's one of those that has a long window in it, and I thought this would be fun for a bookmark. And I just put some bangles and things in there on top, some beads. This one I made with another window envelope, and I put a piece of scrapbooking paper, like it's out of one of these scrap packs. It's not this color, obviously, but similar to that Walmart used to sell. Our store is closed out on that, so I'm glad I have a supply. But you can get that at Dollar Tree also, smaller packs. But they have good paper in them too. And I just used some die cut leaves in there, some holly leaves, and some bangles and things. And these bangles that I've been using, I got this package. It's Hello Hobby from Walmart. And I think this bag was about $4, three something, I think is what it was. It's got 4 ounces. I've poured out some already and used some. And there's lots of spangles. So that's what I used in there, and I put some up here on the top of this with some leaves out of that package also. And this is just some sewing thread that I just kind of wrapped around just to give it a little extra something, and that's something I've seen Barbara 49 Dragonflies do. This one is one that I cut with my die, my circle die that has the scalloped edge on it, and that scrapbooking paper that I bought at Hobby Lobby, just a piece, single sheet. It was on sale. I think I paid like 25 cents for it or something like that. Wasn't very much. And put spangles and put the seed beads in there. And that is something that Meg from Chasing Retro recommended doing. She was talking about making shakers, and she said she liked to put in those seed beads to hold the plastic away from the backing so that it shakes easier. This one I made from a page out of this book. It's a book I got at Salvation Army for $1. It's Good Wishes for Baby, and it has all these pages with words and sayings on them. It's kind of hard to get one that fits in a shaker, but I found some to use, so I did that. And I put the spangles and the beads in there also. And I sewed around them with silver thread on my sewing machine. You can just glue this acetate on, but I don't trust it. So if you have a sewing machine, I recommend sewing around it. And on the back of it, since that paper was not that thick, I just used another one of those sayings and quotes. And so it's two-sided. I meant to mention on this one is a big envelope. I use this envelope that has that big window, but this envelope also has that same size window, so it's all junk mail, but it worked fine. It had some writing on it. I decided to paint the edge with silver paint. This is folk art glass paint enamel. I didn't see it say glass paint when I bought it, but anyway, it worked fine on the paper. And then I used a stamp that has kind of a lace design on it to give that some texture. And I was trying to decide how I was going to cut it out, and I finally just decided I was just going to tear it because the lace that design had kind of a rough edge, and so that's what I did with that. I put a piece of that scrap paper on the back and painted the edge silver. So that was that one. And these are a couple that I made a long time ago. This one I did with some sand from Gulf Shores, and I originally had just sewn around it. I just made these two-sided with the acetate on both sides. I got the idea from Meg to use a picture, actually, is what she used, like something, this is scrapbooking paper, but she was using pictures out of children's books and things like that to make a background for it, which was really cute. I think she had one that had raindrops or something on it that I saw. But anyway, I did this one, and I ended up putting washi tape around it to keep the sand from leaking out. And I just did that by the sea. That was just some scrapbook paper and a piece of text out of a magazine, I think it was. And this one, this is the first one I ever made, and I made it on our anniversary. So I had a word from a card that said anniversary on it, and I just put some ribbons and some little glitter kind of stuff that came out of the package that the sequins were in. It's the middle of the sequins that they put in the package too. So I painstakingly pulled them out and put them in my thing. I did a couple of stamps punches of hearts, and that's a stamped rose on a circle, and just some sparkly things in there, and the word hope. And oh, these are those are those rhinestone kind of things that you can glue on things. I put one of those in there, and a button. Just you can just put any kind of little things in you want to. This is some of that bling that comes on a roll, like it's like this. And I just cut off 3 of them to put in there. So that was that. Anyway, I'm going to put these aside and show you what I use for my acetate. You can use all kinds of things for that. You can use packaging, like from this. This is a stamp pack I bought, and it's got double pieces of this, but you can use that kind of acetate. I guess is what it is. I don't really know, but that works if it's thick enough. Sometimes it's so flimsy you kind of don't want to use it, but that could be true of all of the window envelopes too. I've been using these sheet protectors. They come double-sided, and I cut them apart so I can use both sides, use each piece, the front and back of it. It's kind of hard to open it up. But that's what I used on all of these that I've made this week, was the sheet protectors. You can also use report covers that are also acetate. These are a little bit heavier than the sheet protectors, so it's just a little bit thicker. But that works too. And even though it looks kind of foggy, it doesn't show up foggy when it's on the shakers. And then this is just, it's what my scoreboard came in. And it has this, it's a heavier plastic still, but you can use that. Just cut that out and glue it down and sew it down. I think you can sew through that okay. But I would use a heavy-duty needle, like a needle for denim. As for backing, cardstock is good. You want to have something that's stiff enough on the back to not be flimsy. This is a piece of a greeting card that I cut out. This was on the front, and I cut that circle out. I have it glued down, so I'm going to put some things in there. And it come in glued. That's why you need to sew it, because it does come in glued. I'll just put more glue back here. I also have one that I plan to use. This is a playing card. I thought it had a fun back on it, so I'm going to put some things that have those colors in it. What I'm going to put in this one is this little snowman. Now, this is a die. Whoops, there went one of my beads. This is a die that I have. My friend gave me. It came in a little package with some other Christmas kind of things. And there's a star and a Christmas tree, and there's a snowflake and a wreath and some bells. And that's the holly leaves that I used on this one. The ones I used the dye on that for the holly leaves. And on that, I just colored those berries in with a pen. And then I used a white gel pen like this and just put the highlight on the berries. And I thought they turned out pretty cute. They won't separate for me right now, but anyway, there they are. Pull that up a little closer. There's the snowman, and then there's a Santa sleigh, Santa in it, and a reindeer head. So that was what was in that set. And I just want to open this up a little bit. I really ought to stitch around this before I put these in, and I think I'll do that real quick. Okay, I stitched around it. It's a little bit hard to stitch on this acetate because for my machine anyway, it wants to slide around a little bit. And that's one of the main reasons that I went back around and just double stitched and did this one I was having a whole lot of trouble with. I don't know why. I just made some back and forth wavy stitches around there to kind of camouflage where it wasn't too precise. I did the same thing on this one because it was not quite straight. Just something to distract the eye. Okay, let's see if I can get these things in here. I don't want to have too much in here. Put the beads in. Oh. That's the thing about this. They go flying. Black bead. I thought the black beads would be cute for his eyes. This coal eyes. There's another blue bead. It's a little tricky because they want to run away. And I still want to put another black one in there, even though it doesn't show up very well. And then a couple of white ones. There's 3 white ones. And some sequins. Those are blue sequins. And I have these punched snowflakes. I'm going to put a couple of those in. I really wanted to put 3 in, but I think that may be too many. Put another one of these sequins in. And the snowman. I don't know how well he's going to do in here, but we'll see. Let's see what he does. And then I'll just stitch across the top again for that. I'm going to stitch the rest of these all at the same time. These seed beads are some I'm always finding things on sale at Walmart. This was a long time ago. I don't even know why I was buying them at the time because I wasn't doing this then, but it was such a good deal, I thought. And I think I might have been doing bracelets or something. Anyway, I got those. Okay, so you may be thinking, well, I don't have a die cut machine. How am I going to do shapes? This was this ribbon spool, and I looked to make sure it didn't have any flat edges on it or anything. I just drew around that, and I'm going to take these little scissors. It says ripple on it, and I'm going to cut around it, and we'll see how it looks. Hopefully it will look fine. It's kind of hard to see my line there. I just drew with pencil. You could draw with a like a chalk marker or something. Sorry for the noise, but it's just going to have to be that way till I get this cut. Maybe I'll speed it up and turn the sound down. It's a little wonky, but maybe it'll be all right. I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to erase that pencil line is what I'm going to do so it doesn't show there. Okay. And then I'm going to glue it down. And it is a little wonky, but you know, there's always things you can do to kind of disguise that. I may do the same thing I did on this one, that I added the flower on the side. Doing something like that would take your eye away from the fact that it's not quite round. So that's an idea there. Let's see if I can get this on here. It's hard to see where you're putting things on this acetate because it's, I guess it's acetate. I don't know what it is, but it's this clear stuff. It's hard to see where you're putting it down because it disappears and you can't find the edge of it. And I don't know how many times I've lost a piece of it. I start feeling around to see if I can find it. I just wanted to mention some other ideas. I don't know that I'm going to do any more to demonstrate how I'm doing it because, you know, you get the idea. But I will, I'm planning to finish them up and I'll show you at the end. This is some things I thought would be fun to put in with Dream. And these little stars are some that I cut. I have a die. It's a Tim Holtz die that has, it cuts all these little stars out and you have the background with the holes from the stars. And I kept these from a project I had one time, and I thought they would be cute in there with a dream and a flower and a butterfly. The Christmas trees, well, that was this Christmas tree out of this set. That's how he turned out. And I have this is ribbon, and it has little trucks on it, little red trucks. And I thought it'd be cute with the tree and the ribbon. The tree and the truck, and maybe some bling and some sequins and whatever. And then I have these stamps. I have these little small stamps, and I thought those would be cute in a shaker. And so I stamped some of these to use in something. I probably wouldn't put more than one into a shaker. And this one says Late Night Book Club, and I thought having a little night owl hooty hoot was a cute idea to go with it. And I'm going to see if I can find a book or something, a picture of a book to stick in there with some sequins and, the usual stuff, some beads and sequins and other things like that. Some other ideas of things you can put in are some postage stamps. That would be cute. You could even put in some of these letters that would really hold your acetate up high. But it would some of them are thinner than this. And also those chipboard die cuts that you can find at Dollar Tree. You might be able to split some of those up if they're smaller designs and use that. Just, use your imagination. And if you have a theme, like a sewing theme, you could put buttons and some straight pins that have a head on them, needle threader, snaps, any sewing items that you might have to put in there. Even little scraps of fabric would be cute in that. I'm going to do a sewing one of these days, but I haven't done it yet. Colorful stamps like that would be pretty in there. And some of the things are going to shake better than some of others. The sequins and the bangles and things like that. And I combined some of these with this was 2 pieces. The sequin was separate, and I just put a sequin in the middle to have the flower have a center to it. So it has more weight to it. And these little twirly things are fun too. And that one I put a thing in it. And it's got something glued in there that doesn't belong. It's a clear one. It's got stuck in between some of these die cut numbers. It needs to be cut out of something stiffer, I think, but that might be fun to put in there. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed seeing this and got inspired to make some shakers. Let me finish this one up and I will show you how it looks after I trim it up. My sewing machine was not working too well, so I had some trouble with it. I don't know if it doesn't like the metallic thread or it doesn't like sewing on the acetate, but either way, it kind of messed up. So just have to accept that, I guess. For me, I have to accept that. Maybe your sewing machine would do better than mine did. I don't know. And that's kind of close there already. So I'm going to just trim this one off. Cut off the ends too. So anyway, that's how that one turned out. It's not shaking very well. Those snowflakes want to adhere to that plastic because of static electricity. So it might be better to have something heavier. I don't think there are any of those kind of snowflake bangles in this package, but that would probably work better than the die cuts. But it's kind of cute. I mean, it has a little bit of movement, and they're fun to have in your journals to just have a little interactive thing. Reminds me of a kaleidoscope in a way that the pieces slide around. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and I hope you will make some. That is my project this week. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.